Hello, Louisville and Louisvillian. This is C4 again. I'm Tofa, your host. So we've been doing this. We want to do this segment different because C4 TV, we believe in living with your highest potential. Like do things that you want and reach the highest level you can reach. So now this segment is called Glad You My Neighbor. So I went to visit this person. So I want to not connect communities. We have a lot of communities here, so we need to know what they are doing and how they are doing it so that we can learn from each other. So that's what C4 do. You know that. So I'm your host, Sofa. So today I went to visit this place. It's amazing. It's already beautiful and I like it. I have the owner here in the studio. I went to visit, this is not a studio, of course. I went to visit her at her shop and she's going to tell us her story, how it started. Maybe it can inspire you. Thank you, OJ. I love your name. It's simple. Nice to see you, and I want to introduce you to the followers, to the audience we have, to different communities. You know we have a lot of communities here. So tell them your name, and we can go from there, know your story.
Okay, sounds good. My name is OG, and that is easy to say because it's a nickname. It's really only the first two letters of my name. My full name is Oghogho Tayo. So Oghogho is spelled Oghogho. And so OG comes from the first two letters, and Oghogho means abundant joy, overflowing joy. Wow. And it is a Nigerian name. So I'm an Edo girl, a Bini girl, Bini, not to be confused with Benin, which is our neighbor, Benin, the country. But Benin is in the southern part of Nigeria. And so I was born there, lived there up until 16, and then I moved to the United States.
Wow, it's an amazing story.
Yeah, 26 years ago.
26 years ago.
Yes.
That's a long time. We will know many stories from that long journey. It's a lot of years. So you told me you're from Nigeria, and we kind of know, many people know about Nigeria, but that's the first time to hear that. Is it like a tribe, different tribe? Because
yes.
I think, I'm just saying what I know. We know like Yoruba, we know Igbo.
Yes.
I think Hausa. That's three. No.
Yep. So those are the big three, we call them. So Nigeria actually has 250 ethnic groups. Wow. It is the most populous African nation, most populous Black nation in the world. Yeah. And so Edo, also known as the Benis, usually we're kind of identified by this, these coral beads. So the Benin Kingdom is situated in modern day Benin City, and our king is known as the Oba, and we wear coral beads.
And you still have kings?
We still have kings. Okay. We absolutely still have kings, and yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's what we say here in this segment, is to know my neighbor. That's like beautiful. You have amazing stories you can share. So to know your neighbor, what they do, and we are glad you are our neighbor in Louisville, right? So and you came from Nigeria 26 years ago. At 16 years of age, you were so young, and you moved to a new place. How did you end up in USA?
So I ended up in the US because my dad was one of the first people to post-colonialism. When the African nations got their independence, a lot of governments gave scholarships to young people to come to the West to be educated and then come back and rebuild ministries. And so my dad was one of the fortunate ones that got that scholarship, and so he came to the University of Oregon. And so he lived in the US, did his undergraduate here, moved back to Nigeria and met my mom and married her, and so that's how I came to be. And so I am one of 9 children, actually, 2 that my parents had. My mom remarried and had 4. My dad remarried and had 3. So I know. Well, here's an even bigger one. My mom's dad was a chief and had 44 children.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I knew all of them.
So
know all of
all
them.
those uncles and
All the uncles, aunties, cousins. But anyway, I digress. So my dad married my mom, and separated after a couple of years. He came back to the U.S. And so when my older sister, who's 3 years older than me, got to a certain age, my dad wanted us to come to the United States for our education. So if you know anything about Nigeria in the 90s, the political and economic situation was quite unstable. Universities would shut down for months at a time. A 4-year degree could take 8 years. And so I was blessed to come right after high school. So I actually graduated high school at 15. Which I think is probably only possible by the special grace of God, by the provision of God. I was quite advanced, and so when I moved to the U.S., I was able to start college right away in New York City.
New York City. So I heard Oregon. I thought maybe you went
back to Oregon. No, so my dad, after finishing at Oregon, went to NYU for business school. So he ended up in New York and worked for the city of Newark in New Jersey. And so that's really where he planted roots. He took a job with the city because he wanted to be available to raise his children, to take them to after school programs and so on. And so when he brought us back to the U.S., his 5 children, my older sister and I, and my 3 brothers, we moved to Newark, New Jersey. And I'm a little not so proud to say that things didn't go very well with Dad. So after 3 days, I moved to New York City. And so that's how I went to college in New York City.
So you are a city person. You lived in New York, New York City, and you are here in Louisville.
And now I'm in Louisville. How did that happen? Well, I always say love brought me to Kentucky. So I did my undergraduate at the City University of New York at the Colin Powell School of International Relations and Public Policy. And then I went to graduate school in Boston at Tufts University at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. And then I took my first job in Washington, D.C. with the World Bank and lived there. Lived there for a couple of years. So I moved around. And even during those years, I was traveling a lot. So when I came from Nigeria, I was very aware of the fact that I was African, but I didn't know Africa. I wanted to know Africa. And so during university days, graduate school days, I would travel back to the continent. So we'll bookmark that story and come back to it. But while I was working at the World Bank, I reconnected with an old friend, this lovely young man I met at camp, at summer camp, and he lived in Lexington, Kentucky. He was in medical school at UK. And so that is what brought me to Kentucky.
Damn, that's a beautiful story. Don't you think that's a beautiful story? It has a lot of things, connections, pieces, and we're putting together. I hope the audience are enjoying this segment. So you end up in Kentucky because of love. So tell me about like school. You tackled down a little bit about it. So you graduated in law, you said?
International Relations was my undergraduate degree, and then I have a master's in international law and diplomacy. And
you worked in that sector in D.C.? Wow, that's amazing. And you end up in Kentucky. So I will ask you many questions, because this is like somebody who is highly educated in certain area, and she's doing this, which we are going to find out soon. So it's really has to be something with the purpose, with what you love, who you were, because you should be doing something else.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So you end up in Kentucky. When did you get married?
So we've been married 15 years. We're going to celebrate 15 years in September. And so I moved to Lexington in 2009. And with some disenchantedness with international relations and public policy, it was easy to walk away from that career, even though that was my lifelong dream. Nelson Mandela was my biggest inspiration. I think I saw him on TV being released in 1991. I was a young young, 6,
Wow.
7,
Yeah.
impressionable, and I just really wanted to always be involved in change.
Wow.
I think I was, that really planted a seed of wanting to be an impactful person, and public policy was a great tool. I'm thankful for that education. I still use it incidentally in this business, and I'll reflect on that as we go on. But so moving to Lexington to be with my boyfriend at the time while he finished medical school, and then we got married in 2010. And started a family right away. We had our firstborn daughter. And while I was 6 months pregnant, I did an MBA at UK.
Another education.
Exactly. Very African of me, don't you think?
Yeah.
All these degrees. And so, but I think that was because I've always had a passion for business also. I was raised by a single mom at the time who was an entrepreneur herself. And she lived a very impactful life in business, in the community, employing a lot of people. And I think that too left an imprint on me. And so I was interested in real estate. At the time, I had invested in real estate in Ghana. And so another story.
I think we have you more like so many episodes of this. Yeah.
Well, and you know, the journey in the end, I think, and I'm still watching to see what God is weaving. But so going back to 2010, we got married, finished medical. My husband finished medical school in 2013. I graduated with my MBA as well in that year, and we moved to Louisville. He had actually gone to undergrad here at Spalding University, and a year before we moved, we started a business. So this is new information to you. You didn't know this, but we had a non-emergency medical transport business.
Okay.
NEMT, and we were big dreamers, quite frankly. We started that company, just both of us, living in Lexington in Fayette County, and our research showed us that Jefferson County had the greatest need. Jefferson County is here in Louisville.
You know, quick information, I was EMT here in Louisville.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And so, we started that business, and we applied for a government contract to transport for the VA, and we got the contract, Claude. Wow. Just the two of us, we got the contract. It was a close to $1 million value contract, and I think our presentation was remarkable. The hand of God absolutely was on us, and overnight we built a 36 fleet.
So having
company.
a lot of EMTs.
So NEMT, non-emergency. So taking people to scheduled doctor's visits. So we never did ambulances. So they were ambulettes.
Yeah.
And so we ran that business successfully for close to 5 years. And unfortunately, we hired a manager who led us wrong and damaged some relationships. In retrospect, I should never have given the management of the relationships to him, because as you can see, I'm a people person.
That's why they say it's important. Like hiring is the important phase of business.
Absolutely. So yes. So here we go. This is absolutely one of the lessons in business. Who you hire matters. And within 3 months of hiring him, he tanked the company, and we had to shut down. It was a sad decision, but I think it's also a good business lesson to know when to fold.
Yeah.
You got to know when to fold, and we did.
Yeah.
And so that was in 2016. And in 2017, actually in 2014, we had our second child. And in 2017, we had 3 and 4. We had twins.
Okay. Take me back to a story of love. I think that's also an amazing story.
Yes.
We love to know that.
Yes.
So your husband, did he end up being a medical doctor? Because you talked about finishing medical school.
Yes.
He's a physician?
Yes. So he is a physician by training. And while he was in medical school, he realized that he went to medical school for his father.
Oh, those Nigerian stuff. and I know we talk about some African, I think Asians too.
Yes.
Like they be like, hey, you should be a medical doctor. You should be a physician.
Yes, you should be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or you're failing.
That's
is
it.
basically the mantra.
I know that thing, yeah.
But my father-in-law was an amazing man. He was a cardiothoracic surgeon himself, and my husband's mom, my mother-in-law, is a nurse practitioner, and so they ran a really impactful community focused hospital in Lagos, Nigeria, and he held other government positions and in medicine as well. He was the head of the Lagos State University Hospital at some point. But anyway, so my husband grew up in the hospital, so to speak, and thought that that was also his dream. And so he completed medical school, but while he was doing that, he did a master's in public health. And in the process, really realized that, again, his heart was for community development, for global health equity. And so as soon as he graduated, he was recruited by the pharmaceutical industry. And so he works in clinical research operations, overseeing their monitoring for research and development to bring new drugs to market. And so that's been his career since 2013, and he's loved it and done well in it. And so, yeah.
Wow. So we heard that story. So this is my neighbor here, our neighbor in Louisville, Kentucky. So who is sharing her story about things. So we're glad we get to know her. That's inspiring stories to come from Africa, from Nigeria, then start life here. Then you end up being highly educated. How many degrees you have?
Three.
With master's degree, all of them?
Two master's degrees, one undergraduate degrees, and there's talk about a PhD, but for crying out loud, we need to put a pin in it.
Yeah. Wow. So just in a minute, we're going to go to the topic, that the reason why I'm here today.
Yeah.
But before that, I need to know, there's a story that you talked a little bit backstage, and I loved it, where you were saying about how you visit Africa so much, and you end up visiting many countries, and you end up mentioning somewhere I know. So tell me about it.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, when I was an undergrad student in New York, I had an amazing mentor. Her name was Dr. Marina Fernanda. She was the head of the International Studies Department, and she really supported my big dreaming and my vision. I had very clear perspective about what I wanted to do. I wanted to work in diplomacy, and I wanted to work in Africa. I wanted to promote change and growth and development in Africa. And so every chance I got, I would do a study abroad for credit or an internship for credit. And she allowed me. So I actually completed college in 3 years. So mind you, I started young. Yeah. And I basically ran through it. But in that time, I spent 3 weeks in Morocco. I spent 3 weeks in Rwanda.
Rwanda. Yeah,
yes.
That's where I wanted. Huh?
Yes.
Because I grew up there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And my time in Rwanda was just phenomenal. We studied the Gacaca courts. We went to the countryside. We went to just a number of places to witness how the government was using local customs and local institutions to rebuild, to reconcile neighbors who had been caught up in the genocide, to just really weave the society back. So that was very impactful for me. I spent time in Ghana as well. I went back there almost every year. Ghana almost became like a second home, which is why I bought property there for real estate development that I mentioned later previously in my story. And so spent time in Ghana, and then in South Africa, I spent a whole semester. Yes. So essentially, if you notice, I wanted to go to every region. I was from Nigeria, had been to Benin Republic and Ghana, but nowhere else.
In the north,
and so
south, in the central.
Exactly. And so I made sure to go to each region and spend time there. Not just a quick visit. I would do either an internship or work. I worked. So after doing a study abroad for 4 months in South Africa, I came back and worked for another 4 months.
This is the neighbor that I have here, so let's jump into our thing today. So how, OG, who is the most highly educated person now I know, end up being an artist?
Yes.
Let's talk about it. So what we have here, why am I here actually?
Yeah.
I saw you, I saw the stuff you do. I was like, this is amazing. And I wanted to know your story.
Yes.
So how did you end up being like making things, and we will get to know a lot of things you do here.
Yeah.
So walk us through that.
That journey. Well, it's so interesting. Again, it brings me back to my God story. The fact that my identity and purpose was always known by him. While I was getting these degrees and thinking I was going to be in an office or traveling around the world, we'd go to Paris or Brussels or New York to meetings with the EU and the UN and so on. But I got to a place where I just felt this emptiness, this God-sized hole. But at the same time, I knew that I was driven by something bigger. So ultimately, fashion was a part. What I realize now when I look back, fashion was always a part of my life. I love colorful things, so I think I was always an artist, but I didn't know. I have an eye for beauty, which inspired the name of my business.
So the name of the business is
Our Eye for Beauty. Okay. And now it's Our Eye for Beauty Collective, and we'll talk about why that is. So I think I've always had that eye for beauty, where in picking my things, right? Picking vibrant colors. I collected things in my travels, baskets that were woven in Rwanda or in South Africa, and so on. And over the years, people would ask me to help them get dressed. I'm going to a party or I'm taking a photo with my family. What do I wear? And so on. So that was always there. I even tried my hands at being a stylist while I was home with my 4 kids a few years ago, a business called Cabby that empowers women to start their own businesses. And you basically own a rack of clothing, work from home, invite people to come and see, or you go into their homes, have them invite their friends to play dress up, so to speak, which is part of what I do here, actually. So I did do that business for about a year and a half, over 2020, 2021. And so how I got to this point really is a bit of a 3-part story. First of all, we went back to Nigeria 3 years ago for my father-in-law's funeral, and we went with the whole family. My kids fell in love with the fabrics, particularly my youngest girl. She calls it her Nigeria dress. She would wear it to prom. She would wear it to, sorry, not prom, but like daddy-daughter dance. She would wear it to church, to the grocery store. And so when she outgrew those clothes, because when we have funerals, we make clothing. For weddings, we make clothing. For every day, we make clothing in Nigeria. And so it really identifies us. And I had forgotten that somewhat. But when we went for the funeral, we had 6 events, and 6 of us had 6 outfits for those events. Wow. And so the process, every event had, and we pick a color, we pick a color, we pick a fabric. And so we had 6 of those. So when she came back, she would wear her clothing, and when she outgrew it, she said she wanted more. So 18 months ago, sourced fabric through my cousin in Nigeria. Now I wanted 5 and ended up getting 20. And in the process of that, I got to know fabric makers, fabric sellers. I got to know tailors, and my enthusiasm really got the best of me. I made, beyond what I was making for my daughter, I made extra clothes. Okay. And then I had a tough season in that period where I was part of a community and I was spat out of that community. I was cut out. I was in a group with some women, and through some unfortunate misunderstanding, I was asked to leave. Now, I was really heartbroken about that, and I found that in the midst of my heartbreak, I was creating. So this happened in February. By April, I had these 2 racks that you see here. And so my time of pain and hardship, emotional, spiritual hardship, turned into where I was creating. And I could speak on about this, I could speak on about this, but essentially at the heart of it, I think I started to realize that I was an artist and that creativity was an outlet for me, and that the Lord had given me this talent to create.
Yeah.
And in the process of creating, I was employing people. So I basically woke up months later realizing I had built a
Business have people that you pay, employees, that people are getting something from it.
Absolutely.
That means, it's a business.
It's a business because we were supporting their livelihoods, making their business grow. So it's quite an interesting thing. And then individuals like the one who connected us, Latasha, at her event, will request that I make them something, and it just kept going from there.
All right, so let's talk about this, our eye for beauty. So the thing that is particular for this one, sometimes when somebody say, hey, I'm a designer, I'm doing this, and maybe you can think they see like those big company logos, then they make certain things like that, then they put it here or in the back and say they designed thing. But you be like, no, because this fabric, it's for somebody else. It's made from this place.
Exactly.
And you didn't make it. So that means I wouldn't call you a designer because you didn't start it from scratch. You didn't do anything with it. You just put a logo on it. So our eye for beauty, you start things from scratch. Some of the things you tailor them. Others you start from scratch.
That's right.
Walk through us about it, because maybe somebody who's following us into fashion and they want to know how to create something, and they know, like, let me tell you this story. Sometimes I'll be like, I heard this story. Somebody was saying, if you were taken back in time and you were asked how things are done, can you contribute to them? I don't know if you understand. It's like I'm taken, like, let's say 100 years ago, 200 years ago, when they didn't have anything, and they say, I'm from the future, and that start telling them, hey, in the future we don't wear, like, back in days they used to maybe wear something here and that's it. They be like, in the future we wear some clothes, and they ask me, how is it made? I'll be like, I don't know. So for you, tell us about how clothes are made. And how do you start something from scratch and we end up have good products here like this?
Okay, so I will say that the market, the fabric market is a vast one. There are a lot of things that are produced and then assembled, like you said, and then someone puts a logo on it. So when I started buying fabrics, I would buy fabrics that were already made. Right? I'm looking for something that we call Ankara. So like something I have behind me here. This is Ankara.
Is it the one, I think in my culture we call it
kitenge? Exactly. Okay. So this is kitenge. So this is one of my designs. I buy this fabric and I say, oh, let me combine it with a white fabric to make it look a little Western, so that it has mass appeal beyond Africa, beyond those who know to wear kitenge or Ankara, and so we make this. And as I do that, I started to see other fabrics like silk. Love silk; it feels amazing on the skin. And then I see other fabrics like this that has an interesting texture, right? But what I really want is to be able to create something that's unique. And so I buy a white fabric, a white denim. Now, what you're looking at is not white.
Okay, so
this
that's
fabric,
being interesting. So,
yes.
So this was white.
This is denim. You can feel it, right?
Just white.
Yeah, you can feel the heaviness of it. This is white denim, and then I wanted to combine certain colors and certain patterns, and so we drew this.
So you mean let's take a step. So you mean this whole thing were white? Was white. Nothing was there.
Yes,
and it was not put together. It just was something.
It was
there.
just white.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so we source quality white fabric that is cotton. Cotton can absorb dyes, and so I want a palette that is unique to the brand, and so we create this design using wax.
Wow.
So every pattern you see here is wax, drawn by wax and then tie-dyed. So you see how you have different shades.
Yes, it's
right?
different shapes.
Different shades.
So you made this, you put this, and you designed it.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is designed from scratch, from white.
Yeah. And if you put in the washing machine or whatever, this dye will not go away.
Not at all. So it
Okay.
is tried and tested. My colorists know exactly how to do that, and it has been machine washed several times and looks the very same.
Okay,
And
that's
so
beautiful.
really quickly, this is another version of that same fabric, right?
Yeah.
This is a softer one. And then another thing is in West Africa, we have these cotton-based loom process. In Nigeria, the Yorubas, one of the big three that you mentioned, the Yorubas, it's called, when they weave it, it's called ashoke, which basically means the clothing of the people. That's literally
clothing
what,
of the people.
ashoke basically means, asho means clothes. And so basically clothes of the people, our clothes. And so ashoke is woven.
You make bags
yes,
then?
Yes. And so I'm going to demonstrate with this bag because you can see the thread here. It basically starts out again as white thread.
This was white.
White thread.
Okay.
And it's dyed to produce different colors. And before you know it, hold on. You have a variety of colors.
And that was white.
This is ashoke.
Okay. It was white.
Was white.
Wow.
In Ghana, it's kente, and kente is woven in different patterns, which is what makes it distinct. In Nigeria, like I said, ashoke. And so these days, young people are gravitating toward what is the clothing of the people.
Yeah.
What is the traditional clothing, not clothing that was made. Not clothing that's inspired by Indonesia or Dutchland and then processed and sold to us as Ankara or Kitenge.
The product, then what you guys have to do is just to put it together. But
Exactly.
this one is started from
scratch. And the beauty of that is, as an artist, is it really allows you to make it your own. So for the viewers, if you're a young person who has ideas and you can learn these techniques, I know that batik is taught here. This is basically batik, right?
Okay.
Batik is taught here.
Batik is what?
Batik is working with wax.
Okay.
So using wax to create designs. And then there are many other techniques as well.
So to my followers, I think we have a lot of people who are into fashion. I see them posting all the time. And if they want to learn how to start a clothing or like a clothing brand from scratch, this is a way to go. Like, you should come here, maybe learn something or two where you can start your own thing. Then you put the logo there where it is really, really yours.
Yes, really made from scratch.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see the dress that's right behind you.
Let's see what other products you
This
have.
dress was also white. And so really, like I said, it allows you to customize. So if what's your favorite color?
I would say black.
Black? Really?
Black and white.
Black and white?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's why you're kind of wearing a black and white shirt. So whatever your favorite color is, we would essentially create the white garment. So this garment is a chiffon with cotton patches. So it's
Can't
the
believe
cotton.
this was white.
Yeah, it's the
cannot-
cotton patches that essentially have been transformed into what you see.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I saw. Let's see other products you
Yes,
have. Let's see.
of
let's
course.
show our viewers.
Yes.
What you have, like all the things that you have made.
Well, this is a men's shorts, which was white.
This was white too.
This was white too, and we tie-dyed it.
If you guys, I don't know if you can see this, but this is amazing short for summer. Like,
Yes.
really beautiful and wow.
Yeah, very cool. And then we have a variety of silk shirts here also for men, and some women actually wear them. So it's sort of
This
a
for
unisex.
summer.
Yes, it's for summer, and the colors and patterns are so diverse and really.
This coloring and stuff, you made it yourself as well.
So these were sourced in the market. This is your assembly. You buy the fabric and you assemble. So none of these was white. These came to us as it is. But our African fabrics that we usually wear to special occasions. Sorry, I'm just going to sneak behind you. Lace. So this is a bustier that was created from a lace fabric that you would normally see women wear a top and wrapper.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. Okay. And if you look over there are 3 different ones that look just like this. Yeah. That fabric, it all came from the same swatch of fabric.
Okay.
So it took, would you hand me the third one, please? Or just hold it up for the viewers. So if you go to a clothing store and you find a fabric, and you see that it has different patterns. This was all one swatch of fabric, but because of the vision that I had, I was able to transform it into 3 pieces.
3 pieces.
3 separate pieces.
Okay.
Right?
Wow. All right. So let's go to this. If somebody wants to learn how to do this, would you contribute? Like he or she can come to you and be like, hey, I want to learn how to do this. Will you be able to teach them?
Absolutely.
Our neighbors, our viewers, our Louisvillian, will you teach them?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a product of other people's generosity. I was an intern several times. And so if you are interested in learning what we're doing here, absolutely come intern, come learn, give of your time, and I'll give of my talent, my gifting, and I'll share the information with you. Absolutely. And then I also want to say that if you are someone who has sewing skills, I would love to meet you as well. If you have sewing skills and you're dedicated to your art, because I'll tell you, we have to have excellence in what we do so we can, deliver a product that our customers.
Which means somebody in the community who has the special skills.
Yes.
They can get a job from our Eye for Beauty.
Yes, you can work with me as a contractor, because what I haven't said is all of these are sourced in Nigeria and made in Nigeria. And so when they come, we fit it to the client, and sometimes we have some adjustments that need to be done, and so that's where this contractor with sewing skills comes in.
All right. Yeah. So let's talk about this as we wrapping up our session today. We have this thing like I would say domestic violence, and also maybe women who go through like some mental breakdown, something like that.
Yes.
And they want to do something from themselves, like to lift their selves up. And we also, as we mentioned, we believe at C Forward, we live at the highest potential. What would you tell somebody who can build their lives from those trauma and become somebody?
Wow. That is a heavy and a big question, and I want to approach it with humility. I have never experienced something so devastating, but if you find yourself in that situation, I want to say to you, don't lose hope and look up. I said earlier that a lot of these were created during a season of hardship for me. And that's the thing about hardship is it may not be extreme. It may not be the same as the next person, but it hits just as hard. And I was devastated in that season. And I turned to what I knew to do, what brought light to me. And creating and serving others does. So I want to encourage you, whatever talent you have, because God has given each one of us a gift. Even if you have not honed that gift in an institution, like you don't have degrees or you haven't learned to do those things formally, you have a gift, you have a talent. Think of how you can use that talent to help the next person. And you will be amazed what God does in the process.
All right. Thank you so much. So, OG, thank you so much. We are glad to have you with our viewers. I think they will love so much to learn from you. And the last thing, tell us about your community, like Nigeria, so people who are here just know how to connect with Nigerians. how big is the community of Nigerians
Oh
in
gosh,
Oghogho?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, 1 in every 3 or 4 Black people is Nigerian. That's for sure. So I imagine it is quite large. I don't even know half of them.
Okay.
And as you know, I'm a Pan-Africanist. So my Rwandan brother, my Congolese sister, is just the same to me as the Nigerian, and so I'm thrilled. Thank you for this. This opportunity to share, and yeah, this has been delightful.
All right, thank you so much, people who have enjoyed this segment. We will do more of this, and we will join with our community, our members of the community of Nigerian. Enjoy their food. You know, we love their food
And music.
and fashion, as we saw. So let's get connected. This is learning from your neighbor, like know people that is around you so that you can connect. So this is C Forward again. We do this more. So I'm glad I met this neighbor today. This is Topher. Ciao, ciao.